The BOSE Lifestyle Ultra speakers just recently dropped, and if I'm being honest, it's been a long time since a BOSE product with Airplay has impressed me so much. This is definitely taking the cake for me over something like the hype over Sonos products. Not that I have anything against Sonos, I was just never really drawn to them like that. I must say though, as compared to Sonos' lock on Airplay and how well they've implemented that in their products, one can easily get humbled when remembering this is BOSE, and their iterations of products with Airplay can vary severely. So it is shortcomings in one of the most important features possible for this speaker. Does BOSE still have enough going for the LS Ultra, as I like to call it, for it to still be worth it? Welcome back, folks. It's your boy Andy here. I got the BOSE LS Ultra pair in the house. It was a wonderful birthday gift. Thank you for the person that gave that to me. We're going to go ahead and take a deep dive into it. Get a little nitty gritty. So let's get some prelim info out the way. One speaker by itself weighs roughly around 4 pounds. As far as speaker setup on the inside is concerned, we got 2 front firing drivers with a top-mounted speaker for spatial immersion, as BOSE likes to point out. Bluetooth 5.3 is available on this speaker. Do I wish it was 5.4? Not really. 5.3 is still pretty good in this day and age. But with Bluetooth 6 on the horizon, it might have made sense to give it the latest and greatest in Bluetooth. So take that for what you will. You can also stream via the most important Airplay 2, Google Cast, or Spotify Connect. And believe it or not, this thing has an aux port. You would think that a speaker setup like this that's meant to be home theater, Airplay kind of jazz wouldn't have something like an aux port, but here we are. Yes, it does. So awesome. Thank you, BOSE. Alexa's built into this thing, and if I'm being quite honest, I don't care. I truly don't. I don't use smart assistants like that very often, and when I do, it's just to tell me what the weather is. So take that for what you will. If you use it, great. It's there. It's available. I just don't. I'm old school like that, I guess. And finally, while not my favorite thing, this thing does have touch controls that happen to be mostly responsive. And I say mostly because the little spinny thing that you can do to raise the volume and lower the volume, to me, it's just a gimmick. I don't use it because it just works half the time. What I like to do is just either press the plus or the minus to raise or lower the volume, and that works just fine. So we're going to go ahead and get into the sound test real quick for the LS Ultra. As you guys know, like I always say, these songs that I'm about to play are made by me and solely by me in GarageBand for the purposes of not being copyrighted or whatever the case may be. Eventually, I might not be able to do that anymore because, well, certain artists are getting jittery about certain things, but hey, I digress. It is what it is. So for now, these songs are made by me. I'm not an audiophile. I'm not an audio engineer, but I do try my best. I'm going to play one stereo song that I've made and one mono song that I've made. And yeah, we'll just take it from there. All right, folks, so bit of a dilemma here for me. It would seem that GarageBand doesn't necessarily push out audio via Airplay for whatever reason, or at least that's what I'm experiencing right now. The purpose of this sound test was to have both of these playing at the same time, and since Bluetooth doesn't allow you to stereo pair, it would have only given me one speaker to play, and that's kind of not the purpose of this sound test. I want both speakers to play so you can hear both speakers going at it at the same time. So what I had to do was take this, download it, put it on iTunes, and then we have audio now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play it here. I still have my GarageBand section here just to show you guys that yes, I still did create this track. This is my track. So we're gonna do it this way. So sorry for the inconvenience. And unfortunately, I only have one song this time, not two. This song here, as you can clearly see, I got it stacked up a bunch. This is the stereo track. So I'm gonna play the stereo track over these two, and that's about all I can give you for now. Because again, not sure why it just does not want to push out over Airplay at all. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. You see that little bit of delay that happened there just now? And it's trying to figure itself out. Which one is going to be the main, which one is not going to be the main, which one's going to work. So it's a little choppy. And I've been experiencing that every so often. Single speaker performance is perfectly fine. Dual speaker performance, because of number 2 over here, turns out to be a problem. As you can hear it right now. One's playing against the other's trying to beat it out, and they're just not syncing with each other. Mind you, I do not have this in stereo paired mode. This is just me selecting each individual Airplay speaker by itself. So I'm gonna pause it, we're gonna try again, hope for the best. Just disconnected. So let's go. As you can see, it's not the best iteration. When I use it off of the phone, when I use it off the iPad just to play something from Apple Music, perfectly fine, no issues. YouTube, perfectly fine, no issues. But stuff like this is where it really falls short. And this is why I continue to say that this is the BOSE curse when it comes to Airplay. They truly, truly, truly need to have a sit down with Apple in order to figure this out. Because clearly, as you can see, they're not syncing with each other. And they're not even in stereo mode. Number 2 over here refuses to go into stereo mode, and number 1, the perfect child over here, is just trying to handle everything on its own. So we're gonna give it one more shot. What usually I have to do is disconnect number 2, let number 1 play for a bit, let it assert itself as the dominant speaker, and then reselect number 2. That usually fixes things. In this case, it didn't. As you can see, folks, they work. Not great, but they work. And when it comes to pairing the 2 of them together, just selecting them as individual Airplay speakers and working them out over Apple Music, something like Apple Music or YouTube, it works fine. They work just fine. Again, mine can't stereo pair. Number 2 over here refuses to stereo pair. I wholly believe that it is a firmware update that is needed for this. Other than that, that's about as far as I can get for the sound test for you guys. Again, you've seen the nitty-gritties and the issues that have arisen in the middle of this sound test. These are real issues, and this is the thing that BOSE faces every single time they release an Airplay product, in my honest opinion. All right, let's go ahead and just talk about some things that stand out about the LS Ultra. So amazing build quality. Yeah, you knew I was going there. BOSE just seriously knows how to make a product feel absolutely premium, and they do it every single time. And this is no slouch here. There's no slouch. These two are built well. Next up, sound is power. Just as BOSE describes on the box, this thing has power. And two of them, let me just tell you, there's no comparison right now, at least as far as stuff that I have around the house, that compares to the two of them. Now, as a side note, correct placement is absolutely necessary. Can you put the two of these down on any table and play? Sure. And will they sound good? Sure. But put them in a corner, a 90-degree angle, or just put a wall behind them, flat wall. And that bass response dramatically changes because these things are ported, and I'll touch on that in a minute. Just find the correct placement for these speakers. Trust me, you'll thank me later. So the aesthetic is super duper clean. And I am not exaggerating when I say I want the whole set. It's been a while since I've been this kind of crazy over getting the whole set of something. But I can happily say that I am actively going to try. I'm going to save as much as I can to obtain the soundbar, the sub, and 2 additional satellites. Which, by the way, if you're just trying to get that bundle alone, BOSE does sell it. 2 satellites, soundbar, sub for $2,400, or maybe a little more than that. That's pricey. That's expensive, especially for something like Airplay not working well. More on that in a bit. But I do want to try to get the entire setup in that way because I think I like it. I love the aesthetic. Again, super clean and, well, super premium. What can I say? The nice thing about these speakers too is that if you don't really care about Airplay, they have Bluetooth and they have the aux port. So you have multiple options in terms of inputs for this speaker. And I am very, very thankful that BOSE included that. It is superb to see that on something like this. Especially with the fact that through the app, if you want to select your input, you can. They give you that option as well. So kudos to you, BOSE. Impressive work when it comes to input selection. And last but not least, like I said, they're ported. You know, I know there's going to be some crazy guy in the comment section below saying, oh, well, they shouldn't have been ported because they're small and bass response would have been tighter and da-da-da-da-da-da. Listen, buddy. These speakers are not studio monitors. They are not meant to replace studio monitors. They're not meant to give you that super duper precise audio setting feature, whatever it is that audiophiles are looking for, okay? These are home speakers. They're home theater speakers when you put them together with the whole set. So what's better? A ported design. Let the bass fill the atmosphere for your favorite song, your favorite movie, your favorite YouTube video, whatever the case is. BOSE did the right thing, ported these things, and it sounds superb when you place it right. Okay, let's get into some things that I don't like, and I only have 2 things, but they're pretty major. So first up, my speakers refuse to stereo pair with each other via Airplay. Particularly the one I call speaker number 2. Speaker number 1 does everything. It's like it has 0 issues. Airplay works great. Bluetooth works great. The aux works great. Sound is great. Everything just works superbly on speaker number 1. Speaker number 2, Bluetooth works great. Aux works great. Airplay, what's going on here? To me, I call it the BOSE curse because, again, BOSE started implementing Airplay into their products quite some time ago. My introduction into BOSE with Airplay was the BOSE portable home speaker. And if I'm being quite honest with you, it was my worst purchase ever. Because the Airplay just doesn't work well. It lags no matter where I could have this thing placed right next to my modem. And even then, the Airplay would not work well enough for the song to stream perfectly over. Sometimes it did well, but majority of the time it didn't. Hence why I had that speaker mostly on Bluetooth. And, well, that just wasn't the intention for a speaker like that, right? You give it Airplay, you want people to use Airplay, but that wasn't the case. Kind of the same thing, I'm pointing over there because the speakers are like right over there. Kind of the same thing with speaker number 2 that I have here. I don't understand what the issue is with Airplay, and I think it truly is the BOSE curse. BOSE still has issues on how to implement Airplay properly. And I personally feel that they need a proper sit down with Apple so that they can get this thing situated and then push a firmware update, because I believe a firmware update can fix this. Push a firmware update to these speakers so that this doesn't happen. Come on, BOSE. These things cost $600 for the pair. You better come up with a fix for this. My other gripe is that this thing also has Bluetooth, right? Why, if the stereo pairing feature over Airplay doesn't work, why not also give me the option to stereo pair via Bluetooth? You give that option for all your portable speakers, the SoundLink Flex, the Plus, the Max, the Micro, but you can't give it to the home speakers? Let's be real. There's not a lot of people that are going to buy the entire set. They're going to buy this pair, and that's it. And then they're going to want to place it and do whatever they want to do with it, however they want to do with it. And if Airplay isn't working, let's say there's an internet outage like I had the other day for an entire day. Well, we're not using Airplay now, are we? We're going to be using Bluetooth. And the fact that I can't stereo pair these two over Bluetooth is blowing my mind right now. Again, the portable speakers have it all day, every day. Why can't the home speakers have it? That's about all I have in terms of things I don't like. Let's just go ahead and talk about things that I'd like to change. Number one, the wood trim. Love it. Looks great. Kind of wish there was an additional color scheme. Maybe a gray-ish color scheme. I don't know. Or burgundy? I kind of like BOSE's burgundy set of products. But that's just a me thing. And last but not least, give me an off button. These things don't have an off button. They'll go into a standby mode after a certain duration of time, but I want it to be fully off, especially like, for example, if you're going to travel somewhere, whatever the case may be, I want it to be fully off. Otherwise, it's going to draw power. Now, BOSE's rebuttal may be, oh, it only draws like 1 milliamp or whatever, blah, 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 of power. I don't care, BOSE. I don't care. I want to turn my speaker off. Please don't pull an Apple with me with AirPod Maxes, okay? I want to be able to turn my speaker off. The off button that's in the app is not really an off button. It's just a button to put it into standby mode, and that's it. I want to be able to turn my speakers off. BOSE, maybe that's a firmware update. I don't know, but I need that option. How does it compare to the competition? If I'm being quite honest with you, I'm going to be doing a disservice to you guys if I try to compare it to the only Sonos product I have, because BOSE is clearly going after Sonos right now when it comes to all of these Airplay speakers. The only Sonos product I have right now is the Sonos Beam Gen 1. And I think those of you who know what the Beam is will understand that it's bigger, it's louder, it's got more power in it. It is probably going to outshine the both of these speakers hands down. So comparing the two of them will kind of be a disservice to you guys. I'm just not going to do that. That said, if we're talking about just aesthetic and how they look, I'm choosing the BOSE every day. No questions asked. If you guys do want me to go ahead and review the same stereo pair that goes head-to-head with this, which I think now is the Sonos Era 100, go ahead and drop 50 likes on this video, and that'll tell me that you guys want that comparison sooner rather than later. Eventually, I am going to get it. If I don't get the 50 likes on this video, I'm going to get that stereo pair, but not anytime soon. I do have to save up money. I do have to do a lot of things in order to be able to afford that. I hope you guys remember that all of these products are kind of coming out of my pocket, except for this one. This one was a birthday gift, so I'll take it. I'll gladly take it. But everything else I got to pay for out of pocket, and it's good. It's hard to get some of those things sometimes. So 50 likes, you want it now. Not 50 likes, we'll get it eventually. So final thoughts. BOSE really needs to have a sit down with Apple and discuss this whole Airplay thing. I truly believe that they know they have this problem, but they just don't want to fix it because it will just take that much time. We can't keep coming back to the same conclusion with BOSE Airplay products, that some of them work, some of them don't work, or some of them work some of the time. We can't do that. The pair here costs $600. It's no joke. Now, while I'm not upset about the price, I think it's worth it for the $600. I also think it's worth that the product works for $600. So by all means, BOSE, have a sit down with Apple, rediscuss some things, figure out where the bugs are and what the issue is, and push a firmware update to these speakers so that I can stereo pair them via Airplay. thanks. That would be wonderful. And if not, future iterations, please give me the ability to stereo pair via Bluetooth. That would be so clutch and give these speakers such a dramatic edge over the competition. Other than that, I absolutely adore these speakers. The sound quality is great. They look fantastic. When they do stereo pair, the stereo pair is wonderful. It is wonderful, but only when they do. And last but not least, I want the whole set. That's just that's just how much I like it. I want the whole set. Overall, these things are getting a strong 4, maybe a light 4.1, 4.2 in terms of overall out of 5 rating. Airplay is a really big problem. Well, not problem, but Airplay is a really big feature. And for it to have problems, that shouldn't be the case right now. So as long as we can find a way to fix the Airplay side of things, then yeah, this thing will eke up in score. But for now, 4 to a 4.2 is pretty solid for what these are. Anyways, folks, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you made it this far in the video, I'm on my journey to 5,000 subscribers, and I hope that you'd go ahead and subscribe after watching this. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. You never know when somebody may need a little bit more information about the BOSE LS Ultra over here. Other than that, I'll catch y'all in the next one.